Today, we're going to be going over some of the biggest and most influential Minecraft servers of all time. I've got 15 of those servers laid out here in front of us, and we're going to be ranking them from the 4 tiers that we have: God tier, unique and interesting, questionable, and don't know / never played. If I happen to miss your favorite server on this tier list, make sure to let me know in the comments down below, and I will be doing a part 2 with getting that all out of the way. Let's go ahead and jump straight into the tier list. Up first on our list, we have the Minecraft server 2e2t. So this is an anarchy server, as I'm sure you all know at this point, and it is the longest standing anarchy server in Minecraft's history. It was extremely popularized by the YouTuber FitMC, and now the anarchy genre is an entire subgenre in Minecraft servers. 2e2t has a large and rich history, which adds to the popularity of the server, as it is the oldest one, and that's where a lot of the interest and uniqueness comes from it. Although I don't believe it is a top tier server, as it hasn't been updated in many years. As it stands, it's still currently on the version 1.12. It will still be going in the unique and interesting category for today. The next server on our list is the Archon. So I've only very briefly played the Archon, and from what I got from it, it is a very high class and high quality skyblock and prison server, and because it has such quality and such depth with the games that it has, it's managed to stay on top of the server lists for a very long time with a very high player count at all times. But other than that, I'm not too well invested in the server, but I do know that much enough to be able to put it up in the unique and interesting category. Up next, we have one of my personal favorites, EarthMC. Several years back, I was actually a huge fan of geopolitical genre, a very similar server. Regardless, we are going to be talking about the genre as a whole as well as EarthMC, and here are my thoughts on it. If it wasn't for the popularization of the server by many famous Minecraft YouTubers who actually never really stuck around to play, this server would not be alive today, as the server can barely handle the player counts that it gets. There are essentially no updates, and the staffing is questionable at best. Which, speaking of questionable, that is the tier that it's going to be going in today, unfortunately. Next up, we have Grand Theft Minecart, which is essentially the very popular video game Grand Theft Auto, but translated into Minecraft form. This is another server that I've only very briefly played, and so my opinions and stance on it aren't going to be substantial enough to provide a full opinion, but from what I have seen, what I have heard, and what I very briefly experienced a little while ago, it is also going to be going up in the unique and interesting tier. Next on this list, we have one of the most unique servers, Herobrine.org. So Herobrine.org is a server I actually have a lot of experience with. Essentially, it has some of your basic game modes such as survival, skyblock, one block, creative, etc. But its main allure was how it allowed for cracked Minecraft accounts to join the server. Essentially, for those who don't know, most people when they are playing Minecraft have bought the full game, which costs around $30, but for many people in developing countries or those who don't have access to the normal Minecraft launcher, they used cracked clients, which are essentially pirating the game. And if you buy a cracked client, you are not able to join regular Minecraft servers. This server, however, made it possible for them to join and gained thousands upon thousands of players very quickly because of it. But ultimately, lack of development and upkeep of the server has brought it down to just a couple hundred at max, so it is also going to be going in the questionable tier for me. Next on this list is the one, the only Hypixel. Hypixel, of course, has been the most popular Minecraft server by far for many years now, as even to this day, it still holds a player count never going below 30,000, which is absolute insanity. And I continue to see this being the future for at least the next couple of years, but this top spot on the community could change as Hypixel continues to stay stuck in 1.8.9, which at this point is an update that Mojang came out with over 8 years ago, and there's only so much you can do with 1.8.9. Many of these newer servers on the list have been updating and accommodating new game modes and types of multiplayer experiences, whereas Hypixel is still stuck, but they are innovating. It's just, I don't know if it can be enough to keep them on the top spot, but for the legacy that they do have, it is of course going to be going in the God tier. Next on our list is actually the first one I know very little about. It's called Lords of the Craft, and I believe it is a Lords of the Rings copy that has been translated into Minecraft. I personally would not be interested in a server like this, but I know many are, hence why it's a very popular server. So I can't say anything good or anything bad about it, so it will be going into this bottom tier, which isn't really a bottom tier, it's just kind of my extra tier, as I'm not very sure. It could be a god tier server like Hypixel, or it could be questionable. I'm just not familiar enough. Next up, we have MCC Island, otherwise known as Minecraft Championships Island. This is a server that is based off the very popular tournament that happens, I believe, once a month, if I'm correct on that. And essentially, you can just play many of the mini games that are hosted on the championship that happens every month. And this is sort of what I was talking about with Hypixel being held back on 1.8.9. The special plugins that have been made for this server and the game modes that they've made, the absolute creativity and perfection that goes into these minigames, absolutely stunning. MCC Island, in my opinion, is essentially Hypixel if it would update into current Minecraft times. And for that, it will be my second server going into the god tier. Next up, we have one of my favorites, which is MC Parks. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this, essentially, MC Parks decided to recreate Disney World, Disneyland, as well as other Disney parks that are scattered around the world in Minecraft. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they did a one-to-one recreation of all the parks in Minecraft, and they have special technology that allows them to track where the player is in the park, and using an external website, they will play audio from the parks depending on where you are in game, to make it that much more immersive. You can also ride all of the rides that are in the parks and get a whole bunch of goodies and buy things at gift shops. Overall, if they weren't so limited by real world constraints on building Disney parks, I would put this in God tier, but please don't let that take it away from the amazingness that has been put on the server as well as the technology that has been developed for it. It is going to be going in the unique and interesting category. Next on this list is one that I didn't actually think I was going to be putting on there, but it is Mineplex. A little while ago, I made a tier list that was called a dead server tier list, and Mineplex was on there. And that was because when I made it, it had not been yet announced that someone had bought up the Mineplex server with the intent to relaunch it. So I'm assuming from that information / news that the server will be relaunched at some point, but as for how it's going to turn out, I am not sure. I know many people loved its minigames and was even more popular at Hypixel at one point, so it definitely has potential with brand recognition, but as of right now, I'm very unsure, so it is going to be going into the questionable tier. Next up is the server called Performium. This is yet again another server that I'm not super familiar with. I personally have never played it myself, but many sites recommended it and was a top tier on many Minecraft voting sites. From what I understand, Performium is essentially similar to the Archon in where many of its features and game modes are very high quality, hence its high player count. It has things like townie, factions, creative, etc. So whereas the Archon is more grindy based, Performium is more casual, but it does those game modes very well, hence why it's able to keep its player base extremely high. But other than that, again, I've had very little personal experience with this, so it will be going in the don't know category. Next up is another server, yes, that I have not had much personal experience with, and that is Piratecraft. Essentially, it is as it sounds. You are able to roleplay as a pirate on pirate ships and doing pirate things. And honestly, out of all the servers I've mentioned here, I think this is the one that I'm going to be checking out next, just to see how it is and see if it is a lot of fun. Which I assume it is, considering it's been able to keep a consistent high player count for so long. But once again, since I haven't had personal experience, it is going to be going in the don't know / never played category. Next up is Pixelmon Craft. So Pixelmon is one of the most famous mods in the world, most popular I guess, and this is one of the servers that has capitalized on that popularity the best. The servers are run really well, usually having great performance, and the plugins associated add a layer of depth to the experience. So for that, it is going up in the unique and interesting tier. Next up is the last one that I don't have personal experience with, and that is Potterworld. As the name suggests, this is a Minecraft version of the magical world of Harry Potter, where there are books and spells and magical creatures that you can explore and meet and test with and experiment. It is everything you can think of Harry Potter and magic, but in Minecraft. So this, after the pirate one, would be my next choice to check out after this tier list, as I think it's just such a unique and interesting idea that can be implemented in Minecraft, and with enough creativity and smarts, you can do a heck of a lot with it. So for that, it is going in the don't know, never played. Again, I think it has amazing potential, I just myself have not experienced it. And the last server on this list is called Wynncraft. Essentially, it is Minecraft's most comprehensive MMORPG. The amount of time and effort that has gone into this server is absolutely astounding. I'm sure they could make their own separate MMORPG outside of Minecraft with the amount of time and effort they've put into designing this thing, but it's on a Minecraft server, so we're going to be putting it here and ranking it. When I first joined the server, it absolutely blew me away with the class system and kits, and how immersive the server was compared to anything else I had ever seen before on Minecraft. And so for that and its complete uniqueness compared to all of these other things, it is going in the God tier. So that is my comprehensive Minecraft server list. If you disagree with me or you agree with me, let me know down in the comments. And I also have a Discord server if you'd be interested in joining that. Other than that, make sure to leave a like and comment. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.